Exxaro Resources is hoping to slow down its losses and is now considering retrenchments at the Leeuwpan Mine in Mpumalanga. The operation has been incurring losses for a while now, prompting the company to review its restructuring options. Let's get you more on this, at least from a Labour's perspective. Bring in NUM Highveld Regional Chair, Bizzah Motubatse, who joins us now via our video link. So it's great to have you on the program. Thanks very much indeed for making time. My understanding is that the company itself hasn't yet made a decision about whether or not there would be any kind of retrenchments. Is that correct?
No. Actually, good morning and good morning to your viewers from Channel 404. In fact, we have been served with papers on Monday by Exxaro. The intention is to retrench 325 employees through Section 189. So the confirmation that we have received from Exxaro is that we are going to have employees being retrenched in the next 60 days.
Help us place how big a blow this will be on your members who have been affected by this.
Well, it will have negative consequences because you will take into cognizance that once you speak about Section 189, it's dismissal based on operational requirements. So we are very much unhappy, we are disappointed, and we are angry because we are going to have families who will be subjected to poverty merely because our members will be retrenched by Exxaro.
Was there any kind of consultative process in the lead up to that? Because the company said they would consult unions before making any decision.
No, not yet. We are just waiting for the employer, which is Exxaro, to communicate with us as to when can we have our first consultation under the auspices of the commissioner from the CCMA. So as things stand, we are just waiting for a communication from the employer.
Right. In your mind, or from where the union is standing, was there any other way around this? Because I'm sure the fact that Exxaro is incurring losses is not in dispute. The question is, what's the best way to try and fix that?
What is disturbing us the most is that Exxaro is not going to close the mine. They are going to retrench these employees and they will continue mining using contractors. So those positions of the very same employees which are members of the NUM that are going to be retrenched, Exxaro will just bring a contractor to continue with the mining. The main objective is what we call super exploitation. Because what they are going to do, they're just going to bring contractors that will not be having benefits such as medical aid, benefits such as housing allowance, benefits such as traveling allowance. So it's just a matter of replacing permanent employees with contractors so that they can super exploit those particular employees. And you will remember, by the way, that when the new CEO, which is Ben Magara, was appointed, the National Union of Mine Workers has made it clear that we don't want him because we know his history from Leeuwpan. It's not a man who can be trusted. We knew that this particular retrenchment under his leadership, it will be coming as a matter of urgency.
Okay, but my question still stands, Mr. Motubatse, about what the union solution to this is.
Like we've indicated, that you replace permanent employees with contractors. So it is not like you are no longer having employment. You still have employment, but you don't just want to pay permanent employees or rather allow them to have benefits that they will have. So you can't have a solution when people are deliberately removing permanent employees and replacing them with contractors. If they were saying that we are closing down the mine, that was going to be an alternative. We were going to raise an alternative to say, sell the mine to the buyers who will be able to continue mining with permanent employees. But because of greediness and rapacious capitalism, they don't want to sell the mine. They are saying the mine will continue, but we lose contractors. So here you are dealing with people that theirs is just to super exploit and maximize profit. So you can't be an alternative when people just want to maximize profit.
If the mine were to go on sale, do you know if anybody would be willing to buy it, given just how long-standing the losses there have been?
Well, we are confident that there are people who will be coming on board with the intention of buying the mine. But Exxaro does not want to sell the mine. They want to continue the mine but using contractors. So we know for a fact that there are mine bosses who will be able to come and rescue the situation. But what we want our members to still have permanent employment. We want our members to still have benefits such as medical allowance, or the medical aid. But as things stand, they just want to exploit. It's all about maximization of profit, nothing else.
The environment in which Exxaro, of course, is operating has also changed dramatically. I think it's fair to kind of admit that. There's been a lot of push to a particular way of generating electricity. We know that Exxaro has worked a lot with resources like coal. How much of those external factors is the union acknowledging here as you try to think of a way forward?
Well, look, Exxaro, in particular, the mine that we are talking to, which is Leeuwpan, it's export market, as opposed to two of the operations, which is Matla Kolari, that gives Eskom coal. The other one is in Lephalale. It also gives Eskom coal. This one is export market. And we had expected, when the price of coal was down, that Exxaro will then have embarked in this particular process. But now, we really do not think that it's about the price of coal, but it's about exploitation and also maximization of profit. So from where we're standing, there is nothing that is external that has influenced us or persuaded us that this decision that has been taken by Exxaro is based on a financial crisis. You will remember that at some point, the very same Leeuwpan was in a process of this investment, but they later said, no, we will still continue mining as Exxaro. Then later on, they said, what modus operandi can we maybe use to continue having this business? Then they turned into this particular retrenchment, whereby they will be just like the other operation, which is somewhere in Belfast, whereby they are using contractors. Then they are going to use the very same modus operandi to continue using contractors through mining.
You don't think things like cable theft, infrastructure vandalism in the freight industry, things like power failures have all contributed to getting us here?
Well, those ones are unavoidable and they are always happening. When you go to power stations, when you go to mines, there is cable theft that is disturbing the business in the process. But you'll find that there are people who are using a new technology to deal with cable theft. We know that there are power stations and mines that are using drones and to make sure that they identify those who are dealing with this economic sabotage so that they can be arrested. So if Exxaro was suffering from that, we're going to give this alternative because we are organizing in these mines and power stations. We can assist if there's such a crisis. But when a person like Ben Magara just came within 3 months, he's just telling us that he wants to retrench, it makes us to be very annoyed as the national mine workers.
All right, Bizzah Motubatse, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Bizzah is the NUM Highveld Regional Chairperson. And a note, of course, to you, our viewer, that we have reached out to Exxaro to get, at the very least, their side of the story insofar as how we got here and what the best possible solution will look like. Retrenchments are never good news for an economy that's struggling to grow, especially for a country with staggering high unemployment numbers. As soon as Exxaro offers themselves to give their side of the story, we'll certainly bring you that here on the agenda.